Bitcoin has seen a strong continuation to the 64 to 63.5 major horizontal resistance. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the possibility of a short-term correction, the key levels you need to be paying attention to, exactly what needs to happen for Bitcoin to fly to 69 to 70,000, and of course, the macro charts. By the end of today's video, you will have a detailed and well-rounded understanding as well as a game plan to tackle the price action over the coming days. Let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, MegaWhale team, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. In today's video, we're doing a comprehensive macro and short-term analysis, going over the weekly and daily charts in immense detail, as well as discussing the recent continuation toward the 63.5 to 64k resistance. Will Bitcoin continue toward the upside, or are we going to see a short-term correction? What are the key levels that you should be paying attention to, and how can you execute on these possible moves? These are questions we're answering in today's video. Before we do get into it, smash that like button, hit that comment button, and subscribe to the channel. We post daily videos of Bitcoin focusing on the facts, the data, the technical, and the structural information. No hype, no BS, no emotion, pure raw TA. If that is the kind of content you're interested in, join us on Telegram. It is the first link down below. You'll get access to charts, updates, videos, educational posts, news events, and everything you need to stay in the loop of cryptocurrency with Bitcoin and the relevant economic news. And if you are interested in taking your trading to the next level, you can contact us in the pinned comment of the free channel by clicking this link over here to my name to contact me, or our links over here to find our entire trading track record, or even a video showing you what VIP is about. VIP has absolutely printed some massive profits just in the last 24 hours alone. Again, every single trade we post inside the VIP channel, as you can see, has exact entry prices, targets, and stop losses. Of course, you'll also get access to all of our trade setups and our group chats, our general chat, trading chart and education chat, daily video, help, news, and trade setup chat. Check it out, guys, and let's jump on in. So as we can see, in the past 24 hours, Bitcoin has seen a strong continuation up to a critical level of resistance. And this resistance level is sitting between the point of around 63.5 to 64,000. We can see this is our prior base of support, which we then came and retested yet again as resistance, and we have now come back up to retest it for a third time. We can see as a consequence of that retest, we have seen a little bit of a correction on the short-term price action, taking us down from 63.8 to 62.8 over the last 8 hours. We'll be discussing in massive detail exactly what you should be paying attention to and where this is likely to move to next. Moving over to the market data to start with, however, 24-hour volume is down 4.4% at 147 billion, and 24-hour liquidations are down 14% at 148 million. Of the 148 million in liquidations, 108 have come from shorts and 40 million have come from long positions. Moving over to the market data and DXY, the DXY, as we can still see, is hanging on by a thread at that 100 point. Again, a loss of 100 will result in a strong continuation downwards, as we have now broken below a macro year-long symmetrical triangle formation. A measured move of the symmetrical triangle, taking the depth, our 0.1 to 0.2, applying that to the breakdown point, takes us all the way down to around 95. So we could see a macro continuation downwards here for the DXY. As we know, a falling DXY is inherently going to be bullish for risk assets, so we're likely going to see the S&P 500 and the cryptocurrency market go toward the upside if we do see that continuation. With interest rates reducing, as we have seen by the 50 basis point cut, the directional move downwards is still the most likely. Moving over to the S&P, the S&P 500 is soaring toward the upside, breaking through that weekly high at 5,700, currently sitting at 5,770. We have seen a strong breakout of that weekly high, and again, if we are able to close this weekly candle above this high point, we are expecting to see continuations of 6,000. If you have been following the channel, we have been saying ever since back over here, we have been expecting 6,000. This is all the way since back over here, 2023. We have told you 6,000 was our target. We are getting very, very close to it. As we can see, As long as we remain above this 5,300 mark, we are expecting 6,000. If we do drop below 5,300, that is going to be the initiation of a high time frame downtrend, and the markets overall could take a move toward the downside. This will be a warning sign for crypto as well if we see that breakdown. Moving over, guys, let's go ahead and jump into what we're discussing today. Like we mentioned, we are taking a deep look at the short-term price action, discussing exactly what is happening, the key levels you should be paying attention to, and what to expect next. We're also going to be taking a look at the weekly chart in regards to a few technical levels, the daily price action in regards to the recent daily candle close, as well as the total cryptocurrency market, as the total cryptocurrency market cap is looking very, very bullish. So before we get into that, guys, if you're interested in supporting the channel even more and you want 15% discounts on your trading fees for life, you can sign up to the links down below to BitGet, BitUnix, or BingX. Again, that 15% discount will be base discount, and you can build up to a 45% trading fee discount, which is massive based on your trading volume. It has saved me well over $100,000 in the last few years. Well over that. We're talking probably even much, much closer to 250,000. You can sign up to the links down below, guys. Check it out. We'll play an ad and we'll jump back in. I wanted to briefly interrupt today's video to discuss the two exchanges we use on this channel, BitGet and BingX. So which exchange should you sign up to? If you look to the right hand side of the screen, you're going to see the list of differences in relation to KYC requirements and the countries these exchanges offer services to. The first link down below being the BitGet link, and the second link down below being the BingX link. No matter which link you sign up to, you're going to get up to 15% discounts on your trading fees, up to $5,000 in trading rewards, and of course, you'll get access to every single MegaWhale exclusive bonus campaign we run on these exchanges. Alongside that, BitGet and BingX are incredibly similar. They are both ranked top 10 in terms of trading volume. They both have extensive liquidity pools and market pairs offering up to 125x leverage. And most importantly, they both offer protection funds for their users to protect you against any third-party hacks. So get started now and support the channel by clicking the links below. Thanks for listening. Okay guys, let's go ahead and get stuck back into it. So as we can see in the last 24 hours, upon the release of the interest rate data, we have seen an explosive breakout from that multi-week downtrending diagonal resistance, but we have now seen on the short term, Bitcoin has hit a major level of horizontal resistance at 63.5 to 64,000, marked out by that gray box we can see right over here. Now this level is now a multi-week horizontal resistance, which was once acting as a prior support, retested as a resistance now for the second time. We do know this level is going to act as a major trigger point, meaning a break above this level at some point in the future will facilitate a strong continuation to retest these prior high points. So if we're looking for a move up to that 69, 68, $70,000 region, which would be a move up to retest the range high of our macro channel over here, we would need to see a break of that high at 64,000. This is going to be that horizontal resistance we need to see that continuation upward. Now on the short term, we have seen some minor sell-off, but again, some selling, some profit taking at this level is going to be expected. The most important thing is that if we do see corrections, which we'll discuss in a second, that the overall established uptrend is able to sustain and the key horizontal levels within that trend are respected. So let's take a look at the key uptrend. The current uptrend we have is represented by this diagonal trend line. This is going to be the uptrend Bitcoin has been in now since the 10th of September. Our critical horizontal levels line up with the confluence point of that horizontal, that diagonal channel breakout, which is going to be at around 60,500. Therefore, if we were to see any sort of pullback for Bitcoin, a pullback which facilitated the price action to retest and sustain above this horizontal region would be considered a bullish retest. So if we do see any sort of corrections develop, which does two things. Number one, holds this horizontal level, and number two, holds this uptrend, we are at no risk of further continuations of Bitcoin. It's highly likely we will actually see continuations higher. If at any point these two levels are broken, the two levels we are referring to is going to be that diagonal uptrend and of course the horizontal base of support at 60,500. We could then see the price action dip back into this macro downtrend and see continuations back into these lows at 56,000. However, that will be considered highly unlikely as we do have a weekly bullish breakout on the RSI developing, and of course the price is sitting above the midline of that descending channel formation. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say we've seen a fantastic move upwards. We've seen a amazing move toward the upside, breaking some crazy levels of resistance, breaking some major diagonal levels, really showing that the buyers are still in control of this trend and that the bulls are there and willing to push the price upwards. After all great moves, we do see some profit taking. We have now seen a short-term correction for Bitcoin. If we are looking for a break of 64,000 to trigger that continuation upwards, we need to pay attention to some very short-term levels. This is going to be the short-term chart. The blue levels are our marked horizontal supports and the red levels are our marked resistances. And therefore, for us to see the breakout of 64,000, we are going to need to clear this high point at 63.8, meaning while we remain under 63.8, this is going to be an assumed top until we meet a level of support where the price could bounce from, whether that be at 62, whether that be at 60.5. Therefore, we are not expecting the price action to push through here while it sustains underneath this horizontal level. Furthermore, we expect the price action to reach some of these demand levels, which are going to be at 61.8 to 62,000 and 62,200 to 62,400 prior to any sort of continuation up to this resistance. If we do see this resistance break in the future, that is going to be a bullish trigger point for a continuation upwards to retest the range high of this descending channel formation. So very, very important you pay attention to that. If we do see corrections towards these blue boxes, which are going to be our supply levels, we are looking for bullish indications of reversals or absorption developing at those levels for continuations. So looking to place entry points around these points here or even at these low points could be a wise idea, and watching how the price action develops. You can also see, according to the VIPV, a loss of 61.8. We do have a VIPV gap downwards to 61.2, and therefore this is going to be a strong level of support on the short-term charts we are paying very close attention to if it is reached. So the whole premise the whole picture we're trying to paint over here, and what we really want you to pay attention to, is that Bitcoin is in an uptrend. We are in an uptrend. We have broken through a major resistance. We are now retesting a very major level of resistance within the short term and the higher time frame charts. Remember, this level of resistance will need to clear. We need to clear this level of resistance for us to see a continuation upwards to the range high. Once we break through this resistance, we have no more resistance for Bitcoin until that descending channel range high. And if we clear that, well, we have a bullish momentum flip occurring on the weekly, which will increase the probability for a breakout of that range high and continuation. So let's go ahead and talk about that now. Moving over to the weekly chart, we can see in 3 days' time, we are going to see a bullish momentum flip on the RSI for the first time in 200 plus days. A breakout on the RSI is going to be a leading indicator for the price action to continue up to a range high. So no matter what happens on the short term, no matter what happens over the next day, over the next 2 days, over the next 3 days, provided Bitcoin is able to sustain above the midline, which is 60,500, which by no coincidence lines up exactly with that horizontal level we discussed, that gray horizontal level, we are going to see a bullish RSI flip, indicating momentum will flip positive, and we are going to see that act as a leading indicator for Bitcoin to follow and continue upwards to retest the range high. To show you one prior example, the most recent example, we had a 200-day long consolidation right over here. We can see 224 days. We had that RSI downtrend representing momentum was falling during the 224 days. We saw the RSI breakout right over here, which was on this candle, and the next weekly candle, we saw a breakout and continuation. So we can see how the RSI acts as a leading indicator for the price action. So no matter what happens on the short term, whether we get a pullback or we see a continuation, Bitcoin is still primed for a continuation higher. It is a matter of what happens on the short term and will these levels of support sustain. If we break above here, that is it, off to the races. Bitcoin is very, very likely going upwards, 68, 69,000 very easily. While we remain between these two levels, we are in a chop zone. We are going to be developing a little bit of a chop zone. We could see the price come back down to this region before continuing. We could see a weaker dip before continuing, or we could just see a continuation straight upwards. The difference between all of those is going to be determined by what happens on the short-term price action. Again, watching those key trigger points. If we come into this region over here, we are looking for reversals to develop. We are watching for develops of reversals. If we fail to sustain that low, that is going to be confirmation for a correction into that next level of support, where we are then watching for reversals. And if we do not reach any of these points, but instead just invert right now, we need to see a break of that high point to confirm that we are going to see continuations. Until one of those three things occur, the high breaks, the low supports are retested, or the breakdown of 61.8k is confirmed, we are waiting patiently and enjoying the profits and taking profits on all the longs we have taken over the last few weeks. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a fantastic day. We will be doing a video for the altcoin market very soon, going over the total altcoin market cap on our second channel. Again, you can check that out in the pinned comment to find our link to our second channel, and we'll see you guys in the next video on Sunday. See you then.